January 1st, 2013. Heading into my 5th year here on YouTube. And hey, it's originally designed to be a weight loss channel, so how can a weight loss vlogger not post on January 1st, the most bullshit resolution-y day of the year when everybody aspires to either begin or to design A, B, C, D, E, and F, a list of things that they're going to do differently this year. The one thing I aspire to do, breaking the mold with the last 6 months of my videos, is to get off the testosterone. So I went into the clinic a week, 2 weeks ago, and I began my deload by cycling off. And I hadn't had in my head exactly when that was going to happen. I know they had mentioned it early on, but we hadn't spoke about it since. And that clinic, it's just a turnstile of med techs and physician's assistants and receptionists. So there's not a lot of continuity. There's just new employees all the time. So this new guy comes in and says, hey, you've been on for 20 weeks now, off and on, 20 weeks. And it's time to give your receptors a rest and yada, yada, yada. And, this way we can test your baseline levels again and see how you're progressing. And we're going to keep you on the HCG. Going to increase that dosage to 3 shots a week. The tiny little nothing shot, which doesn't scare me at all. And the first thing that came into my mind was, oh fuck, he's taking me off the stuff at the worst time of my year work-wise. My workload goes up twofold, more than that during the holidays. Fuck, what kind of timing is this? I tried to sort of passively tell him, this isn't a good time. Could we not push this back to maybe mid-January, late January, early February, when things start to stabilize or maybe get a bit easier for me? Because right now I have the most, the testosterone has the most utility for me. I can, if any other time during the year, I can use it now. When I started in the summer, the lightest time of the year, I didn't really need it. I felt like shit, but it's half as much as I'm doing right now. And the feeling that I felt when he said, I'm going to take you off, despite, this really not doing much for me. Granted, my numbers have quadrupled. And I'll get back to that, because my numbers having only quadrupled is an issue. But no weight loss, no strength gain, some minor psychological and emotional improvements, but that tapered off very quickly. And if any of those are hanging around, they're hanging on by a thread. And I felt myself going like, oh shit, I feel like this psychological dependence to this stuff that by all accounts isn't doing much of anything. So that's all I need. I'm not the type to be any type of a chronic drug user, be it prescribed by a professional or not. I just don't like the idea of being dependent on anything. So I want to get off. And that should have been, and I've had people ask that question, and what are you going to do to fix yourself? Do you plan on being on this forever? And part of me likes the idea of having a higher than average level of testosterone, just for aesthetic's sake, for just feeling like a man functioning optimally. But I don't want to achieve that through exogenous testosterone injection. And getting back to my level, it went up to 616. Other people, I've watched countless videos on here of people on their own testosterone replacement journeys. Theirs goes through the roof, 1,000 plus. Um, this other guy I watch, like 1,200. He has to cut back. Its testosterone went up too high, and that is probably the product of, some other cogs in that machine are going well. His diet's okay. He's working out, getting adequate sleep. He gets some sunlight, possibly. I don't. This is the most sun I get all day. This morning sun, which is very indirect right now and partly covered by clouds, is all the sun I get. And there's all these variables: poor sleep, lack of natural vitamin D production, lack of exposure to the sunlight, lack of socializing, a poor diet, not working out. It's no wonder that even with exogenous testosterone injections, I'm still barely getting. Even the PA was like, well, we would expect your levels to be in the 700s at your age with this, at least. So I'm having a hard time even getting up to that average range with poking myself with a needle once a week. So, what better time to sort of, figure out how to do that naturally. So I'm going to continue taking the HCG, and I'm going to get back on the cycle here in a couple weeks when I'm supposed to start taking the testosterone. My goal here is to finally begin making those other changes so that I can begin correcting my own deficiency. So I can get to the point where my testosterone is too high, and maybe I can start to decrease the dose or get it down to nothing, and also my body's actually producing the way that it should. This, just with my work schedule, and I usually sleep 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. I get a decent amount of sleep, but right now, especially in the winter, zero sun at all. So I was, trying to figure out ways to get some sun exposure, and the only way I can really do that naturally is by compromising my sleep schedule, which doesn't make much sense, seems a bit counterproductive. And so I'm doing a bit more research on the effect that tanning booths have on natural vitamin D production in one's skin. I actually there's a tanning place right up the street. Now, let me start off by saying I hate the idea, the cosmetic, douchey factor of tanning. Naturally pale, European descent, Northern European descent. I don't like that year-round tan look. I don't tan. I tend to get a bit pink, to burn a little bit, and then I revert back to being pale. So I walked into the tanning salon, and the first thing I said to the guy is, my goal here, I don't want to get dark. Is there a bed that will stimulate vitamin D production that will not give me any color? I don't want color. I have no interest in that. And he just gave me the most puzzled look, like I was retarded. Like he had never heard anybody say that before. And he goes through his typical sales pitch, because really he's a salesman. He can't offer any real useful information as to the health benefits. He's just there to help you choose the bed that would most, get you to a bronzed skin condition the quickest. So do a bit more research and possibly begin tanning purely for the health benefits. I don't think I have any actual capability of gaining any color, and I hope I don't. So tanning twice a week, maybe I can sort of remedy this complete lack of sun situation a bit. And apparently vitamin D and testosterone, they're pretty strongly linked. The tanning salon opens at 7 a.m. So what I also want to do is to get home from work, come home, relax, check email, watch some TV, eat, wash clothes, do whatever the stuff I need to do. Go right to the gym, which is open 24 hours. Get a workout. I'm going to get back on Jim Wendler's 531, the boring but big version, which is where the accessory movements are basically repeating the main movement, but less weight for more reps. Get a workout in. I want to start after the workout doing the couch to 5K running program on the treadmill, which is pretty mild to the point where I don't think it's going to have much of a negative effect on the working out itself. So get to the gym, hit the weights, get to the treadmill, begin jogging my way towards a 5K. And a 5K is the maximum distance I care to run, period. If I can run, what is that? Is it 3 miles? That's in life as a survival skill. That's all you really need. Anything beyond that, and you're dipping into all the negative consequences of chronic cardio, and I want nothing to do with it. Hate running, hate endurance activity. Even when I was fit, I hated it. I'm much more fast twitch, much more interested in strength and power. But I understand the utility, the benefits of being able to jog a couple miles if I have to. So hit the gym for the weights, hit the treadmill for the 5K training, and then go right to, I'll eat something in between there, and then go right to the tanning salon. I don't even like saying it, to get into one of these booths to get 10, 15 minutes of UV light exposure a couple times a week. As far as diet goes, it's the hardest part for me. It always has been. Last winter, like I said before, heaviest time of the year at my job, I was losing weight regardless of what I ate. This winter, I've put on like 10, 15 pounds, and it's, if anything, my job is harder, but that's how shitty my diet is. So the next, or the diet aspect of this New Year's resolution change is to, first off, I need to completely eliminate fast food and convenience store food. I had planned on posting like a little summary of what I'm spending each month on food. I spend between $500 and $700 a month on food, and I'm not sitting down to $50 steak dinners. This is just, I wake up, I don't eat anything, I go to work, I get 3/4 of the way through, I stop off at a gas station, I'll get $6, $7, $8 of bullshit, candy, chips, pop, energy drinks, just the worst of the worst. And I might do that twice a day. And then on top of that, I might spend $16, $17, $18 on fast food. And on top of that, once a week or a few times a week, I go grocery shopping. I still do lots of cooking at home. I'm still eating good foods here. But the fast food and the convenience store food, no, it's fucking ridiculous. And I'm burning a hole in I'm burning money on this food. I have food here. Every couple of days, I have food that spoils, that I don't eat in time, and or eventually gets freezer burn because I'm eating bullshit during the day. I would be better off completely reverting back to the standard American diet and packing myself a couple sandwiches and a bag of chips in a lunch sack to take it to work with me. The quality of the food wouldn't be any worse than what I'm currently eating, and I'd save myself a shit ton of money. And I'm still doing fine money-wise, but I could cut that in half. Even eating high-quality foods, grass-fed, pastured, humanely raised, yada, 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 I could still cut my food bill in half each month by cutting out fast food and cutting out convenience stores. And again, if that means at least for the time being, reverting back to buying a loaf of bread and making sandwiches and just going back to old school, like I said, standard American diet, it's going to be better health-wise and it's going to be better money-wise. So that's the next step of this resolution. So the first step, gym, treadmill, tanning. Second step, no convenience store food, no fast food. Third step, the social aspect, the the stress, the lack of 7:59. I should be going to bed here soon. Lack of any socialization whatsoever cannot be having a positive effect on the way this machine is running. And I actually kind of like my life the way it is. I all of my free time is spent relaxing. I work 55, 60 hours a week. The job is hard. I feel like I earn that time sitting in my recliner doing nothing. And I enjoy that time. I like watching movies on my laptop. I like playing Xbox. I like fucking with my cat. I'm actually okay with my life. But it could be enhanced by having some social component. I understand that. And while at this moment I don't really, value that, I understand it logically that it's necessary. So the third, is that third? I don't know. I actually like a week ago I thought about making this video and I was actually gonna write stuff down and do it uh, in an organized way, but that would be completely different than what I normally do. So why not? We'll just stick with this path. It seems to work. So what I plan to do to get that social component is to join a Jiu-Jitsu class. Not because I want to join. I love the UFC. I love mixed martial arts. I used to say that I was like an NFL fan number one, but I think I'm now a UFC fan, a mixed martial arts fan number one. No aspirations of fighting. I'm not a particularly tough guy. I have no skills. I'm not a badass. I don't want to get punched in the face. But again, I appreciate the utility, the practicality of learning that particular skill, Jiu-Jitsu. I think I have like a natural aptitude for grappling, um, for reasons I can't really detail. It's automatically gonna sort of install that social component into my life. If you get into the right gym, you'll find a lot of jiu-jitsu players, practitioners, whatever you want to call them. They constantly emphasize that social aspect, the camaraderie, the lack of ego, the just togetherness of doing that hobby together. So that is the third component. And off the top of my head, I think that's it. Trying to continuously improve my sleep quality. Brand new bed. I have blackout curtains. Still a lot of light in my room. Too much. I bought a sleep mask because it's much easier other than permanently installing like a piece of plywood on a window. In my experience, you cannot black out a window effectively. And believe me, I've tried. I have expensive blackout curtains. I've tried thin, opaque plastic inserts. I've tried tarps. I've tried comforters. I've tried multiple sets of curtains. Light always gets through. So I ordered a good, highly reviewed, non-pink sleep mask on Amazon last night. So I think that's going to be the easiest fix. Got a humidifier. The room is cool, quiet. It's as good as I can make it. And so I haven't yet detailed the steps to actually improve the quality of the diet, but right now no convenience store food, no fast food. And I don't go out to restaurants. I don't have any friends in town. I'm not going to go. I'll go to a movie by myself, and I'm not going to go out to eat by myself. I have before, to be honest, but not very often. So that's not something I have to change. So resolutions for 2013. Number 1, gym, jogging, tanning. Number 2, no convenience store food, no fast food. Number 3, the social component, jiu-jitsu, as often as I can, schedule permitting. And there's a school not too far from here, which is well reviewed and is ran by a UFC athlete that you would recognize if I said the name. And all in the hopes of course, maintaining my strength, getting stronger, losing fat, feeling better psychologically, and getting off the exogenous testosterone. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to post again. I have aspired to post more often, but I find that I have nothing to say because I'm not making progress, and I don't like posting videos if I'm not making progress, if I have no major changes in my life, I have nothing to add. So I plan to post a video soon, and maybe I'll detail these steps. 20 minutes. Maybe I'll detail these steps more closely. I don't know. I've been up all night. I'm tired, so this is what you get for now. Any thoughts? Post it below. That's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and until next time.